Maansi and I'm a junior at the Miami Valley School. Recently, my American history class read the last chapter of the American pageant about American people facing a new century. The chapter opens with a prophetic quote from Abraham Lincoln saying, "As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. We must disenthrall ourselves, and then we shall save our country." Just as America faced issues when transitioning from an agrarian-based society to one of booming industry and Americans moving to the city, there will inevitably be issues when transitioning from an industrial age to an age of information. For example, when Americans moved to the city, issues that had never been seen before were emerging. For example, the idea of trash was something new to them. Country dwellers produced little household waste before they moved to the city. In the city, however, goods came in throwaway bottles, boxes, bags, and cans. There's this idea that there are issues that you could have never foreseen, like what is happening in the information age. In the information age, problems faced today include a widening income gap, a more connected world, and no longer being the world's wealthiest people. The true question that must be answered is America up for the challenge, and does it have the ability to change with the changing world like it has in the past? It is a matter of time before we know the answer to this question, so we must act and think fast, like Abraham Lincoln would have wanted. I think a very interesting topic to discuss is the relationship between ethics and science. I think it poses a real threat for our future. Increasingly, scientific research has been the motor that propelled the economy. New scientific research raised new moral dilemmas. For example, startling breakthroughs have occurred in the cloning of animals and human stem cell research. For example, research into human stem cells held out promise for cures for afflictions like Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's, but some religious groups protested that harvesting stem cells involved the destruction of human life. This is just one of the examples of many of the ways that Americans continue to struggle with ethical implications in technology. Sam Harris has a TED Talk that provides some insight into this topic. His video is about science and how it can provide answers to moral questions. It is a little different than what I'm trying to say, which is moral questions being able to thwart scientific advancements, but it provides great insight. Sam Harris argues in his video that the separation of science and human values is an illusion. It does not exist. He believes that if science is allowed to have right and wrong answers, why aren't moral questions allowed to have right and wrong answers? For example, he talks about how women are treated in other countries. He says, who are we to pretend that we know so little about human well-being that we have to be non-judgmental about amoral practices such as raping women and killing them? In the scientific world, certain opinions must be excluded. That is the only way that knowledge and expertise will have value. Therefore, opinions on moral issues should be excluded if they are deterring peaks of human flourishing. I argue that why can't this same logic be applied to problems that we see in America today? If we have the ability to create peaks of human flourishing, to find cures of Parkinson's disease, and to find cures of Alzheimer's, who are we not to do the research? If science can provide the answer, why aren't we looking for it? We must admit that there are right and wrong answers to human flourishing. I believe that it's astounding that such moral views are getting in the way of scientific advancement. What is even more scary is that other countries might not be having these moral dilemmas. They might be moving forward in science, like we aren't. We have already fallen behind in the economy. Who is to say that we won't fall behind in science and technology? I agree with Sam Harris when he says we simply must converge. We must have a standard of moral questions in a way that scientific advancements can flourish for the sake of well-being.